to the Craft Cookhouse. Today I want to show you how to make a fantastic cured sausage called a Fuet. Fuet is a cured sausage that comes from Catalonia. Catalonia being in the northeast of Spain, just below France. The Fuet is a gloriously light garlicky hint of pepper cured sausage, often eaten in a bocadillo, which is a sandwich with kind of crusted bread. It's added on the top of soups. It's also part of general tapas dishes. And the word Fuet actually means whip, which is quite interesting because when they're made they tend to be rather long and thin. And there's no horse meat in it, so don't worry about that. And they're traditionally made with boar or pig. And there are slight regional variations as you go around Catalonia and arguments about where the best Fuet comes from. And unlike its Spanish cousin, the chorizo, this has no paprika in, no paprika. So it's not, doesn't have that instantly characteristic oranginess or anything like that for you to recognise. The other thing is, that makes it very different, is that it's very, very lean for a cured sausage. So it's about 80% pork loin, typically. And it doesn't use any of the pork shoulder with any of the connective tissue or anything like that. Because it's very thin and long, it tends to cure very, very quickly as well, typically being ready in a matter of weeks. Okay, so I'm going to take you through how we can make this wonderful Fuet, which also fills your house with wonderful garlicky aromas. If you don't like garlic, it's probably not the sausage for you. Okay, so first up, we've got here 1 kilo of pork that I've already minced. There's no point me showing you a video of mincing, although if you do want to see one, there's one here of me mincing this up. Okay, here we've gone for an 80-20 mix, as I've said. That's 80% pork loin and 20% back fat. We're then also going to be adding in 10 grams of minced garlic. Then we've got 5 grams of white pepper. And then here I've got 30 grams of sea salt. Okay, so for us here, the magic number is always 3% of the weight of your meat in salt. And for this, I've gone with sea salt. Okay, I tend not to use cooking salt or table salt because these have anti-caking agents in, which we don't particularly want, as well as high levels of potassium. So here we're going with good old organic sea salt. If you want to use nitrates, which will help bring out the pinkness, and is also an additive, then you want to drop this to 25 grams and then add 0.25% of the weight of the meat, so 2.5 grams in pink salt number 2. All of these are listed in the description below. Then we've got 50 millilitres of white wine as well, and I'm going to be packing these into these things, hog casings. No point being squeamish about it, these are the intestines from the pig. And for here, I've gone with some 30 to 34 mil, because again, this helps to keep it rather thin and also aid with the speedy curing process. So, time to mix this all up and make the links and talk you through the rest of the process. So first of all, let's magic up those hands. Okay, so here we go. So we have our pork, and what we're going to do here immediately is add in our salt. Very, very important when it comes to mixing to do it for long enough. This does 2 things. As the salt and the meat are combining, it's doing its magic and it starts to make it a little bit more sticky and tacky. Very important to mix this all through thoroughly, do it for a good few minutes, and it helps to get a good bind. The reason being that when we then go to put this into the casings, we're not going to end up with any air pockets. So we want to really mix this through well. Churning and mixing, churning and mixing. Okay, getting all that salt combined. Then I'm going to be adding in my white pepper and my garlic. And then the white wine. We're going to mix this all through thoroughly. Oh, it smells glorious. Okay, so we've finished our mixing. Next thing is for loading into the skins. This can be done in two ways. One with a sausage stuffer like this. This is a relatively inexpensive one, costing around £40. But don't be perturbed, you can also use something like this. Good old plastic bottle, where you can put the meat into the top, you can add the skins via a funnel on the bottom. With one of these, you can go on the bottom like that, you can load the skins on, and then just start pushing through. If you have large hands, you can go down to a smaller one like this, and I just find just pushing through with your thumb works brilliantly. It's also good for getting the last bits out the bottom of your stuffer. So let's load these on. So first of all, we're going to get this mix in here. So okay, so now just a quick word about casings. These are casings that I've been refreshing in cold water for about 2 hours, and then about half an hour before use I just pop in a little teaspoon of white wine vinegar, but these have already been washed. So now it's a case of just loading these onto the funnel. So they tend to go on pretty easy and quick, all very easy. Okay, now when it comes to, that's the cool thing, when it comes to the filling, we don't want to tie this to start with, okay? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now is gently start bringing the meat down, and you'll hear that there's some air coming through. If I do it gently, no meat will come. Okay, so now we want to bring this through until the meat's starting to come out, like so. And then we're going to pull the skin over, and then we're going to fill. We're going to tie it in a minute. Now, with this, I want to keep it relatively loose, just let the machine do all the work here. Pull that skin back, because I'm actually going to be shaping these a little bit after this. Get all this through, make it one big long length here. Okay, so I'm going to be doing these into about 25 to 30 centimetre lengths, and then the best thing to do, once I've got my sausage ready, notice I haven't tied the end yet. I will put some string around it and tie this into a simple knot. And then I will take this and fold it back over the string and then tie a second knot. This gives us a good seal. And then I will just tie this up here, ready for hanging. And then I will just tie the other end as well. Okay, so we have it like that. I'll come back here and do the same thing. Here I'll do the same thing again, like that. I will then put the skin over the string again to do my next knot, like that, and so. Okay, I also wanted to show you how to do the bottle top method of filling your casings with this. You can just take a plastic bottle, cut off at one end like so, attach your sausage skins, and then you can just take your meat like so and start thumbing it down the hole like so. It takes you a little bit longer, but it just goes to show you don't necessarily need fancy equipment in order to make some salami. I'll come back when I've finished all of these. Okay, so I've finished stuffing all my Fuets. Now the other thing that I like to do here is I like to give them a little bit of a squish, kind of make them a bit of an irregular shape, flattening them out, trying to almost get them triangular if I can. This kind of adds to a peculiar shape when I'm putting it on a charcuterie board, as well as actually it helps it dry quicker, to be perfectly honest with you. I've done these in as little as 2 weeks before. Okay, once these are all prepared and kind of shaped and ready, sometimes I put kind of little twists and turns in them, make them nice and irregular. Once that's all done, it's a case of taking the labels, which I've tied on here, and then going to weigh them with some scales. and then I'm going to write down the date, the weight it is now, and then my target weight. And for the target weight, I'm looking for a minimum of a 30% reduction in the weight. So to do that, take your target weight, times it by 0.7, and that will tell you your target weight. After that, it's just a case of me giving it a feel to know when it's ready. You can keep it going longer and longer if you want, and this will just make it firmer and firmer. Once that's all done, now what we want to do is take a pin or a needle, and then we're just going to prick out any air holes. Okay, and we're going to go all over the sausages like this, pricking out any air holes. We don't want any trapped air in there. And then what will happen is that the skin, as it dries, will almost shrink back on it. This will also help for the moisture to evaporate as well. Okay. Once you've done all those, it's then a case of hanging them. And to do this, you want to hang them in a relatively warm place. Room temperature is fine, and you want to do it for 48 hours. So I'm looking for a temperature of anywhere between 16 and 22 degrees C, which is like an average room, to be honest with you. But even there, 48 hours. After the 48 hours, I want to move them somewhere cool. So for this, I'm putting them in my curing fridge, which is an adapted wine fridge, and I'm going to put them in there for 9 degrees. 9 degrees for the next 2 weeks. You could do this in a domestic fridge as well if you have room to hang these. It will just take a little bit longer for you to reach that target weight because the fridge tends to be at 3 to 4 degrees C. You don't need to worry too much about any temperature fluctuations. If it's going up to 9, 10, 11 degrees, that's not an issue at all with these. It's a relatively fast fermentation and drying process that goes on with these because they are so thin. After that, you'll end up with these after about 2.5 weeks, and we'll cut some open so I can show you those now. Okay, so here we are with some Fuet. Take that good spot straight through the middle here. As you can see here, it's lovely. Oh, lovely smell. Good and firm. Cut off a couple of pieces here, like so. Oh, that's good. So, ta-da! There we are with our Catalonian Fuet. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy our recipes and learning more about traditional charcuterie. You can also check us out on our website, thecraftcookhouse.com, where all our recipes are also available, or you can follow us on Facebook as well, at Craft Cookhouse. So until next time, see you later.